Welcome, my name is Kat, this is my channel KatCanSew, and welcome to where I get to talk about my stitching, etc. I'm on Instagram under KatCanSew, and I'm mostly remembering to post more on there. I'm, to everybody who is new, thank you for joining me. I hope you like what you see. To anybody coming back, thank you, and I hope you stick around. It is the 30th of January 2026 and this video shouldn't be too long. I do have a little bit more stitching than I had last fortnight. I've done 9 projects and have 4,702 stitches, as well as some back stitch that I haven't counted yet. I have 2 technical finishes, well 3 technical finishes, and then 5 projects. I have a little bit of haul because my Adam Hart quarterly mystery box arrived this afternoon, so I haven't even opened the box. And then a little bit Disney. Okay, so it's probably going to be like a 35-40 minute episode. Okay, so let's jump into the stitching. First off, we have my technical finishes, which I did 2 more of the colouring squared ornaments. So I did the ornament and Hello Kitty. I have 2 more of the Christmas ones left to restitch, and then I have like 7 Halloween / Thanksgiving, and I should get the Valentine's Day one when I go to work in a week and a half, if I don't get a shift before then. So nothing major. You're going to keep seeing these. My goal is to try and do 2 a week. I did 2 in a fortnight because they're kind of hurting my hands, so I have to take a break when I can. That is in a Black Needle Society project bag. My next technical finish is kind of a refinish because I did finish this in the past. I finished 100% finished Frogwarts Year 4. So if you have been following me, you know that I have pulled all of the quotes out and I'm restitching all of the quotes for the 3 years I have finished. And then I went through and did all of the added back stitch. I just restitched that, and then I added back stitch because my white is too close to the fabric, so I finished the back stitch around the dragon. I added a little bit around the sorry, I've still got it in the frame because I have year 1 ready to go, even though I didn't actually start it. So I did some blue around the flame, some grey around the eye. It's not super noticeable, but it just helps the colours pop a little bit more in person, where they're very close to or too light to have any contrast with the fabric. So that is done. As I said, I have year 1 ready to stitch, so hopefully I'll get some stitches on that tonight or tomorrow. So that is all my finishes. It kind of feels like none of them count because, you know, one's a refinish, and one is and 2 are just those 2 little squares. I just need them done. I am kind of getting over them, and I have so many left to go that I may drop back to try and get 1 a week done. Being fully aware that that's going to take me most of the year, but there will be a couple of splats where I try to get a ton done at once. Now onto my WIPs. So first up we have Santa's Stamp Collection. Here is the pattern. This is by Black Needle Society, and this was originally part of the Nice List box in 2022, done as an advent during that box. Here is where I was. This is stitched on a 32 count plush Lugana by Fortnight Fabrics, and here is where I'm at. You cannot see what I did. I did more of the boxes. So I got 858 stitches in this. It is all on ecru, on basically ecru fabric. So I think I had this box here finished, this box here finished, and this box here finished. So I finished this box, this box, this box. This box is about half done. This box is finished. So basically I just ran the thread downwards, making make sense. I still have like 2,500 stitches of ecru left, and they are pretty much all in those borders. But you know, we'll see when that comes up again. Needle minders are by Ginger Stitch AU and Ginger Stitch AU, and this is also in a Black Needle Society box bag. This was from camp in 2023. Yeah. Next up is Quick Stitch Ladybug. Here is the pattern. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs. This is artwork by Ching-Chou Kuik. Here is where I was. This is stitched on a 16 count magnetic by Livendale LA. This is actually on a starched, on a sized fabric. Like, this was one of her very early ones. And here is my Malt 2. I got 829 stitches. My goal on this was also 750 stitches. Santa's Santa stamp collection was the same. So I got a little bit more done on the bug, and then that was a page finish. So I started the next page, getting the leaves done, and started on that bit more on the flower. So again, I'll just keep working on those two pages. Page 3 has like 100 and something stitches, and they're all like scattered. So we'll see what happens with that. Needleminder is by Galloway Gallery, and that is in a Stitch Toolbox project bag of Etsy. Next up is my Disney project. So you will see photos at the end. This is Jose. This is by Atomic Tiki Pins. And here is where I was. This is stitched on a 28 count Dole Whip by Live and Die LA. And here is where I'm at. So I got 405 stitches on this total. I got 250 something stitches when I was there last week, and then I got another 150 stitches when I was there a couple of days ago. So we're really filling in that. Oh wow, those colors really pop as being different on camera. They don't quite as noticeable in real life. We're filling in more of that background. Honestly, the background is the best thing for stitching in queues, because I can go, oh, I just have to put my phone away, follow the row. But, you know, I'm back again at least twice before my next video. I'll talk about more at the end, but also it turns out this fabric glows in the dark. Again, when I'm talking Disney, I will show that photo if you didn't see it on Etsy. Or glows under black light, I should say. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that's stitching up. This is in a bag that I got given for Christmas. I am so tempted to steal Magic and Snacks and Magic for a username somewhere, but it is super cute. Adrian gave me that. I think it's just from Amazon, so I'm not actually sure who this designed, but it's the perfect size to put in my backpack. Next up is my least stitches project. This is Winter Wonderland by Jan Hicks Creates. This was from a Nice List box in 2023. Yeah, 2023 sounds right. This is where I was. This is stitched on 32 count over the moon linen by Colour and Cotton. And here is where I'm up to. I did 506 stitches. I was aiming for 500. I basically filled in more of these trees. Got the brown is actually, that's grapevine, that is completely done. I'm nearly finished the green. There's just a little bit here and a little bit here left to go. And then it's just filling in more snowflakes down the bottom. I'm pretty close to, I've got like 800 and something stitches left on this. So it probably won't get finished next month, but it should get finished the month after. That is in a Pinky Promises project bag. And that is stitched with mostly Weeks. The green is Gentle Arts. Needle minders are Forbidden Fibre Co. And that was in a in a Like Needle Society box. I do not remember who the designer on that was. Next up is my project. I say it's my project because I designed it. This is the project I didn't put any stitches in last year. This is around the fair. I'm only going to put the top picture on. This is a project I designed for a smalls exchange and then never got as finished. So it kind of got put off being finished. I did have to restart it because I had started at 2 over 2. Here is where it was, for like a year and a half. And here is where I'm up to. This is stitched on a 40 count Malt of the Earth linen by Livendale A. And here is what I'm up to. I did everything on that snow cone. It is 508 stitches. I was aiming for 500. So I am, between the top and the bottom, I'm down to 2,400 stitches. So this is now my 4th lowest number of stitches project. So it may get finished this year. And once it's finished stitching, I will actually aim on fully finishing it. This is in a Golden Familiars bag. This is the Creepy Carnival or something. And then last project that I worked on was Disneyland. This is by Neni Designs. This is where I was. This is stitched on a 40 count Easter Grass by Livendale A. I only did 109 stitches on this. I'm aiming for 1,000. I was trying to do a little bit this afternoon before I did my video. But I only ended up putting in one length. And it was all one of the browns in here. It's really hard to see the difference, but progress is progress. It is, I'm going to get like another 900 stitches on it. I'll probably get some of that done tonight and tomorrow. That is in a Designed by Me bag. And that is all of my projects, all my stitching for this week. Or fortnight. It doesn't feel like a lot. I mean, it's still 4,000 stitches. It's just been a bit of a fortnight for getting stitching done. I was in a groove last night. Yeah, last night. I'm like, oh, I should get, I'll get up to the 500 stitches. I think I needed 200 stitches on around the fair, and then I'll get, several hundred stitches on Disneyland, because that was the next one in my rotation, and our synchro float. pressure built up, it overflowed from the underneath. Water went everywhere. I freaked out. I couldn't find the emergency maintenance number, but so that meant that instead of that pulled me out of my groove, and I did get, you know, about 300 more stitches. I only got like another 200 stitches in last night, and I did like 100 stitches this afternoon. So technically making progress, but it doesn't feel like it. I still need about 5,000 stitches more for my January goals. Half to 2,000 of that being Frogwarts Year 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish all my January goals and then start my February goals. It may mean I lose a month somewhere in there because, you know, I'm still completing the previous month's goals at the end of the month. But I'm hoping that, you know, I still manage to get stitches on most of my projects this year. With everything being on at least 3 wheels, there is a good chance stuff will get at least 500 stitches. My stitch numbers may be a little high. I may have to readjust that next year. Like I got my 2 goals that were 250. I have 5 goals that are 500, which is least stitches, oldest stitch, 10%, and then the 2 wheels. And I only got 3 of those done. Didn't get either of my 1,000 done. I did get both of my 750s. And I made sure I got my 500 on my least stitches and my oldest. So progress is progress. Slow progress is still progress. So there's a lot of arms today. This week has been a real week. Let's jump into some happier things. And I've done a couple of Disney trips this fortnight. So last Tuesday, so not the Tuesday just gone, the Tuesday before, here in LA, there was one theatre who was showing Disneyland Handcrafted in theatre. It's on Disney Plus, and if you have any interest in like the history of them building the park in less than a year, it's super interesting. Go into it being aware that you're probably going to be freaked out by some of like their safety practices that are non-existent. We watched it with a friend who used to work for Kalosha, and it was amazing, and it was everything. We like rewatched it with them like a couple of days later when it was up on Disney Plus, and like she was like, it's like, this is gonna melt her brain, and it did. And like, while that is terrible, it was also amazing to like have somebody whose like job safety was her job. But yeah, because we watched that on the Tuesday, and I went to Disney on the Wednesday to catch up with Glitter Dove Fairy, Doris and Ali were down, and Wednesday was the only day I was able to go. So we caught up for a little while. We went and saw the Walt Disney in the Opera House. And then they went off and did their thing, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and ride all of the opening day's attractions that are still available. The horse-drawn trolley car had already done for the day, because of the parade, and then because of the projections. That ends at like midday. It's only open for a few hours in the morning. Sometimes it'll be open again in the evening if the park's open till after midnight, I think. But because, you know, it's a horse, that gets closed fairly early. But I did manage everything else. I also decided to either stitch on the attraction or in the line. And some attractions only got a couple of stitches in that line because it was a walk-on. Others got quite a bit, which is how I got to 250 stitches. So there is a post on my Instagram, but I will while I have been talking, I'll put all the photos on this as well. Some of these are really, really dark, just because it was at night. I didn't start this until 4 o'clock. I really dislike Autopia, but I decided to do, it was like 9:20 or something. Park closed at 10. I messaged my husband and was like, I've done everything but Autopia. I feel like I should do Autopia. I'm like, I'll go over and see how long the line is, because I wasn't using my phone. I was just, vibing it, like, okay, I'll work my way around this way and like work by land. I even sat in the Golden Horseshoe, which doesn't currently have a show, but I grabbed some food and I listened to the audio of the old show, and then it was like, it just gave me a good chance to sit down like for like 45 minutes, I think the show's 35 minutes, so like I just put on the Golden Horseshoe review and listened to that and cross-stitched and ate some food and, chilled. Because now it is just a quick service food place. But yeah, it was like, sorry, this is the rambliest rabbit tangent-y thing. So it was like 9:20. I went into Star Traders and I'm like, I'll go see how long the wait time is for it, and it was like 5 minutes. I'm like, you know what, for 5 minutes I'll put a stitch in, because it was too dark. They don't have a well lit queue, and when I got in there, they were only wanting one track. Apparently I just need to be on that ride when there's no queue and one track, because I actually really enjoyed it because it wasn't overwhelming. The sound of all the cars gets really overwhelming for me. Honestly, the sound of all those cars drives me nuts at the best of times. So yeah, I managed, so I did the Railway, Jungle Cruise, Mark Twain, Golden Horseshoe, Carousel, Casey Jr., Dumbo, Storybook Land Canal Boats, Mad Tea Party. Dumbo is technically not an opening day. It had some tech issues and they weren't able to open it. Casey Jr. is the same. But Casey Jr. opened a week later. Dumbo opened like 3 weeks later. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Peter Pan's Flight, Snow White's Enchanted Adventures. Technically that is a different ride, but it's same location and same rack. And then I was like, well, I've ridden everything. Maybe I just go do the Tiki room and then go home, because I didn't feel like waiting for the projections. And I messaged Mike and I'm like, you know what, I'll just go check it out. And I actually enjoyed it. So it was a really just vibing day. Not checking the wait times. Just it is what it is. Pretty much everything was a walk on because it was a Wednesday in January. But I lost my water bottle. I don't know which ride I lost it on, but it fell out of my backpack. And I didn't realize until I was getting on Autopia, because I went to drink some water. And I didn't feel like going back. So I asked somebody and they just said put in a, on the website there's on the app there's a place to report lost items. So I did that. Honestly, it was if it gets back, I get it back, and if I don't, I don't. So be it. Thursday I got a notification that it had been found. And they're like, well, I don't want them to ship it, I'll just pick it up. And it's like, we'll hold it for 7 days. So I had to go back. So I went again on Wednesday, mostly to DCA, but I took 0 photos. I rode some rides. I did a bunch of stitching in queues. I saw kind of saw the Milan Lunar New Year parade. I was in line for uh, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the where they come out for the parade is right next to that. So I kind of got to see most of that. What else did I do? I grabbed snacks, Snow White, Little Mermaid soaring, which they have announced is going to be soaring over California for like the next 5 months as of next week, and I am so happy because I did soaring in one of the two worst spots, which is row 3 at the very ends. But you know what? I still love that ride. But we're going to get the over California. Like, I like the ride concept. Don't love the visuals for around the world, but soaring California I love. And it has been for the last few years just during the Freedom One show, so it's available for like 5 weeks. But this year, with it being 25 years of DCA, we get it for the next 5 months, and then they'll bring in the 250 America 250 soaring over America, which hopefully will have better image quality than the Around the World had. Around the World is very CGI heavy, and hasn't been filmed for a dome. It's obviously been filmed for a flat. So everything twists and wobbles. I mean, over California, you know what? You guys aren't interested, and if anybody is interested, I will do a reel on Instagram of me bitching about soaring around the world. And then went in and got to ride Haunted Mansion as Haunted Mansion for the first time in 6 months, so that was lovely. And again, just I was tired. I'd had a really long day. Mike's been out of town, so and having a really bad run of it. So I basically had been staying up because he needed to be woken up at 4 our time. Today wasn't too bad. He only had to get up at 7, so he's home again now. So, well, will be by the time this goes live. But it just means that my sleep pattern this week had been trash. Other than that, it's been a pretty chill week. Hopefully, a lot's been going on. I say it's been a really chill week, but it's really been a crappy week, and as such, I've mostly been trying to avoid it. I live in LA, so I didn't have to deal with the horrible weather, but apparently the world decided that I had to deal with other terrible things. Mike had to go across the country, and he had flight delays, and his bag never made it to to where he was, and like he should have been home already, and he got delayed 3 hours coming home. Another friend is having some serious family issues with the loss of a parent. It's just a lot this week. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them. Hopefully by the time I record again, I will have seen Stitched by Liz, Liz and Ross. I think he's Ross Vlogs. Either way, he'll be tagged in below. Hopefully everything goes smoothly with them and they're able to come out. And Erica and Kevin, Akio WIP, are also due to be in town. Of course, I haven't been scheduled for a shift for a month, and they scheduled me for the 2 days that everybody's in town. Hopefully I can switch one of those days though, so I can spend the day with people. And I officially remembered to book the retreat that I'm doing at the end of February. So yes, I will be attending Pacific Stitching. That is probably my only in-person retreat I'm going to get to do this year. Let's open my haul. So Adam Hart mystery box. Let's see what we got this month. Ooh, we have just brown paper. Okay, so we got, so we always get 2 different floss drops. I choose the chips because they're my favorite part, and then 2 other items. This time we got a yarn cut up pendant and hand cream, might come in handy. And then our 2 colors are Red Wine Supernova, which looks like it is a, they're calling it a cosmic swirl of glittering maroons. Oh, this is real pretty. It's like reds and browns, bit of gold, it looks like a little bit of blue. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Alright, trying to get it so the camera is not reflecting on it. That is really pretty. I have so many of these bags that I just need to actually finish kitting projects up. And then the other one is Capricorn Night, which is translucent with gold. Oh, this is stunning. So this has got like a blue iridescent and a gold in it. Like, there we go. You can see some of the gold. I probably picked the one that had like the least amount of color in it in my handful. That's really pretty. I need to kit up more projects. Some of these colors become available on the website, but not everything. So full is at the end of this video, but that's because I nearly forgot about it. I do have a 123 stitch order that is due next week, which has a couple patterns in it, so I'm looking forward to getting that. It shipped like yesterday because one of the items was on back order. And I think that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe, watch. I don't really care. As I said, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, whoever they may be, that you love them, and make the effort to go and see people, or at least talk to them, even if they live far away. You never know when something's going to happen. On that note, stitch on what makes you happy. Find your jam. This is probably going to be highly edited. But have a good night. Bye.